He had 3 shots between him and the greatest moment of his life, and then it slipped through his fingers in front of millions of people. You think you know what it feels like to almost win? You don't. Not until you've watched a man walk off the 18th green at one of the hardest golf courses on earth, smiling through tears, knowing he just played the best major of his entire career, and still lost. This is the story of Tom Kim at the 2026 US Open, and why, even in defeat, he walked away believing he can win a major. Stay till the end, because what he posted afterward will give you chills. Before we go further, if you love stories about athletes who fight back from rock bottom, hit that subscribe button right now. Not for me. For yourself. Because somewhere in this story, you are going to see a piece of your own life, your own comeback, your own almost moment. And if this channel has ever made you feel something, the least you can do is hit subscribe so you never miss the next one. Okay. Let's get into it. Earlier this year, Tom Kim was not even supposed to be at the US Open. His world ranking had collapsed from a career high of 11th all the way down to 141st. For a golfer who once looked like the next big international superstar, that kind of fall is brutal. It is the kind of fall that ends careers, or at least buries them for years. He missed the Masters. He missed the PGA Championship. 2 of the 4 biggest tournaments in golf, gone, because his game had fallen apart so badly he couldn't even qualify. For the first time in years, he watched majors from home instead of playing in them. Imagine that. You spend your entire childhood dreaming of major championships. You break through as a teenager, win on the PGA Tour before you're old enough to legally drink in some countries, become a fan favorite at the President's Cup, get called the future of the sport. And then, almost overnight, you're not even good enough to tee it up at the tournaments that matter most. That is where Tom Kim found himself heading into the middle of this year. But here's the part of the story most people missed. While everyone was writing him off, Kim quietly started clawing his way back. He had one decent finish at the Myrtle Beach Classic. Nothing huge. Just a sign of life. And then came US Open final qualifying, the brutal one-day gauntlet where dozens of players fight for just a handful of spots into the actual championship. No second chances. One bad round and your whole year is over before it starts. Kim showed up at Dallas Athletic Club and did something he hadn't done in a long time. He played like the player everyone used to talk about. He opened with a 66. Then backed it up with a 68 in the afternoon. 8 under par for the day. He finished 1 shot behind the medalists, but it didn't matter, because he qualified. He earned his way into the US Open the hard way, through pressure, through a one-shot tenured format, at a moment when his career was hanging by a thread. Now picture the stage he walked into. Shinnecock Hills Golf Club, Long Island, New York. One of the oldest, most respected, most punishing golf courses in the country. Thick rough that swallows golf balls whole. Wind that never stops testing you. Greens that slope away from you just when you think you've made your putt. This is not a course that gives away majors. This is a course that exposes weakness. And in round 1, Kim did not look like a man ranked 141st in the world. He came out and posted a 70, holding his own against players who had spent the entire year inside the top 10. Round 2, a 67, one of the best scores of the entire championship that day. Suddenly the golf world started paying attention again. The kid who had disappeared from the leaderboard for over a year was suddenly 4 shots back, sitting in contention at a major. Then round 3 happened, and this is where the story almost turned into heartbreak early. He shot a 72. Not a disaster, but enough to watch the lead pull away from him. Wyndham Clark, the eventual leader, carried a massive cushion into the weekend, 6 strokes clear of the chasing pack. Statistically, it was the largest 54-hole lead at a US Open since Rory McIlroy back in 2011. When a lead gets that big at a major, most players in the field mentally check out. They start playing for a top 10 finish instead of playing to win, because deep down they've already accepted it's over. Tom Kim did not check out. Final round. Sunday. Everything on the line. While the cameras were locked onto the final pairing of Scottie Scheffler and Wyndham Clark, Kim was quietly playing the round of his life just a few groups ahead. Birdie after birdie. He finished the tournament with 16 birdies across the 4 rounds, more than almost anyone else in the field. 16 birdies at Shinnecock Hills is not normal. That course does not give up birdies easily. He fought through 42 pars, 13 bogeys, and just 1 double bogey across the entire week, a level of consistency that most players twice his world ranking could not match. But here's the moment that defines this whole story. On the 17th hole, Sunday, with a real chance to apply pressure on the leaders, Kim made a bogey. One mistake. One small crack at exactly the wrong time. It likely cost him any realistic shot at actually winning the championship outright. Golf is cruel like that. You can play the best round of your life in 1 hole, 1 swing, 1 red on the green, can be the difference between history and almost out. He finished the tournament at 1 under par for the week. Solo third place. 3 shots behind champion Wyndham Clark. 24 years old, finishing ahead of the world number 1, Scottie Scheffler, who landed in a tie for 4th, 1 shot behind him. Think about that for a second. A player who could not even get into the year's first 2 majors finished a major championship ahead of the best golfer alive. It was the best major finish of Tom Kim's career. Better than his tie for 8th back in 2023. Better than his major debut. The kind of result that, on paper, should feel like a massive win. And yet he didn't win. He came so close to the first major championship of his life, and it slipped away by 3 shots, on a course that punishes the smallest mistake. After the tournament ended, Kim didn't disappear into silence the way a lot of players do after a near miss. He went straight to social media and posted something raw, something honest, something that hit fans hard. He wrote, "I felt it in my fingertips, I reached as far as I could but just slipped out of my hands." Not a polished press statement. Not a generic thank you to sponsors. A real, human admission of how close he came, and how much it hurt to fall just short. There's also a quieter detail in this story that fans love. The whole Tom nickname people know him by isn't his real first name. He's actually Jaehyung Kim, born in South Korea. As a kid, he became a fan of a children's TV show called Thomas and Friends, built around the character Thomas the Tank Engine. He loved it so much he started calling himself Tom, and the name stuck for the rest of his life. A small, almost innocent detail that shows the human being behind the golfer, the same kid who grew up loving a cartoon train ending up 3 shots from a US Open title years later. Zoom out and look at the full picture of his 2026 season so far. 13 made cuts out of 15 starts. A world ranking that had collapsed to 141st. 2 missed majors. A career hanging in uncertainty. And then, in the span of a few months, qualifying for the US Open through a brutal one-day format, fighting through Shinnecock Hills rough and wind, and finishing 3rd overall ahead of the world's best player. This wasn't luck. This was a complete reconstruction of a career that almost everyone outside his inner circle had given up on. That is why this story matters. Not because Tom Kim won a major. He didn't. Not yet. But because he proved something far more important to himself, and to everyone watching. He proved that the version of him that won twice on the PGA Tour as a teenager, that became a President's Cup fan favorite, that climbed into the top 11 players in the entire world, never actually disappeared. It just went quiet for a while. And when the moment came, on one of the toughest stages in golf, it came roaring back. He left Shinnecock Hills without a trophy. But he left believing, with everything in him, that the next major is his to win. And if his comeback from 141st in the world to a solo 3rd place finish at the US Open in just a few months tells you anything, it's that you should believe it too. If this story moved you even a little, make sure you're subscribed, because stories like this one, real comebacks, real near misses, real human moments behind the trophies, are exactly what this channel is built around. Drop a comment telling me if you think Tom Kim wins his first major this year. I read every single one. See you in the next video.